A cover letter is just like a fancy ransom
It
note
is.
in a way. Like cut out like magazine letters, give me job. Like don't make that your cover letter.
No ransom notes.
Yeah.
No ransom note.
Okay, this is ridiculous and I'm not happy with it.
Is that how you feel when you job search?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous and I'm not happy with it.
I am upset. Just generally.
The job search story.
You're listening to Work in Progress, a podcast that helps you understand and navigate the world of work. I'm your host, Jessie, and I'm a career peer educator and a UVA student.
And I'm your host, Kate, and I'm a career counselor at the UVA Career Center.
Work in Progress is a podcast that belongs to the TEEJ FM network. That's TEEJ.FM. Tune in and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on the UVA Career Center website. For more resources, follow the UVA Career Center on Facebook and Instagram.
This week on Work in Progress, we're talking about what to cover in a cover letter.
Nice.
If you didn't catch our last episode on resume myths, take some time to give it a listen.
So, Kate, how would you describe a cover letter to someone who hasn't written one before?
So in the olden times, like when I was in high school, a cover letter was honestly a piece of paper on top of your resume that you would fold and put into an envelope, and it would be the very first thing that an employer would read. It would actually give an introduction to who you were, and it would make reference to the things that were on your resume. So it's not that different now. It's just that now you're uploading a PDF, most likely, to an applicant system, but it's the same thing. You want to tell employers why the things on your resume matter to them and why they should take a chance on you and specifically why they should interview you. Can you talk about your experiences, Jessie, with cover letters?
I'm not a huge fan. I had a really hard time talking about myself in a way that didn't seem like inauthentic.
It's self-conscious.
It's weird to do.
A lot of people get tripped up on the format of a cover letter, and we'll talk about that a little bit, but you can find lots of good examples on our website. It is the #1 hit on our website. So we have a feeling people are in the middle of the night Googling UVA and cover letter. It's a great question to ask if you come to drop-in advising or even if you wanted to go to the writing center, but we really want to make sure the content is there. So today I have a little activity.
Great.
I went on Handshake and I found some jobs. So I want you to pick a job out of this hat, and we're going to read through the description together and then verbally write a cover letter so that you can prove to an employer why you have the skills required to do this entry-level job. Ready?
Okay, let me pick one. So I got the business analyst for the Miami Dolphins.
Do you have any idea what a business analyst does, just off the top of your head?
I'm just picturing someone who's like, stocks.com. Like, let's see what Wall Street's up to.
Stocks.com with football.
/football /Miami.
So the truth is, a business analyst is a very, very typical entry-level job.
Okay.
May not be everybody's interest, but this is just an example of proving yourself. I'm going to read a little bit from the job description. A business analyst will work with a team to provide insights contributing to decision-making across revenue-generating areas of the organization.
So I was right.
So basically stocks.com.
Stocks.com.
Are you freaked out yet?
Yeah. I'm like not thrilled. I'll like explain it.
So here's the good news.
Yeah.
What I really want you to do is not worry about that part because you were interested in the Miami Dolphins already.
I love them.
You were excited. And so what I always recommend to students is to go ahead and flip directly to the job requirement. There should be some sort of header with a colon and then a bulleted list. This is what you're looking for in the job description.
Okay.
And then to make a 2-column chart. Do you have a pen?
I do.
So just draw a line down the middle.
Okay.
And on the left, write what the employer is looking for. And on the right, you want to say skills and strengths that I have. You're trying to match what they're looking for with what you have to offer. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. So you might think that this was going to be very sports related.
Yeah.
But it's actually not. These are a lot of the qualifications that employers are looking for across the board. Requirement #1, working toward a bachelor's degree in economics or related field with record of strong academic achievement.
So getting my degree in econ.
Did I know you were an econ major?
I don't know. Did you?
I don't know.
So check. With strong academic achievement, who's to say?
So some ways you could talk about this would be if you were a fourth year and you were doing some sort of capstone, research project, DMP, any of those sorts of things might show a strong record, but you could also just say that you're a hard worker and you have a good GPA. All right, qualification number 2.
Yes.
Excellent analytical skills.
What does that mean, analytical skills? I would survey people, and then I'd curate them, and then describe what generally people thought of events. Could I include that?
Absolutely. Guess who does events? The Miami Dolphins.
You're right.
I think that would fall under research and analysis. Now you're talking a little bit about both quantitative and qualitative with surveys, gathering information, synthesizing that information. And for some people, they may have more of one than the other. That's okay. You have what you have, and this is an opportunity to point out what your strengths are. Strong writing and communication skills. Is that something that you have?
I'd say so.
How do you know? Aren't you a podcast host?
Okay, so I'm also studying women and gender studies. So there's a bunch of writing with that. And then I guess for this, I'm talking into the void.
Passionate about solving problems, both as an individual and part of a team.
I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of coming up with a blank.
Which one's harder?
Team.
So part-time jobs.
Okay.
So you're a career peer educator. You have to work as part of a team.
So I intern at the Women's Center. The cornerstone of the Women's Center is providing opportunities and spaces for all sorts of different people, not just for women to come together and work together and work with problems related to gender. I feel like I could talk about that, but
I think what you're getting at is this is a strength of yours. And the whole point of a cover letter is to talk about your strengths.
Yeah.
So don't backpedal on talking about your strengths because that's the point.
That's why we're doing this.
And so some of these other things you might not feel as confident in.
Yeah.
And so in your cover letter, it actually would be important for you to focus only on the things you feel most confident about.
Okay.
Because as we will discuss later, you cannot write a 3-page cover letter. And so the point is not to check every single box.
Yeah.
It is to check the boxes that are strongest for you. So you're allowed to be good at something.
Okay, cool. Noted.
Effective time management and organizational skills.
I feel confident with this one too. Studying is hard. It takes up a lot of time and takes a lot of organization.
And there's not really a lot of space on your resume already designed for that content. And that's why academics are really great to talk about in a cover letter because you're the expert. You know exactly what happens and why it's challenging and why you've overcome the challenge. And you may only have a couple of lines on your resume that say the degree you're getting, the GPA, maybe some classes, maybe a project, but nothing that screams, this is really hard.
We're students, and most of what we're doing is a line or two where it's I'm getting my Bachelor of Arts and whatever.
And when you're a student, it's not off to the side. That's your experience. Every
exactly.
Day. We focused on content, and so now we want to talk a little bit about format and how to put polish on your cover letter. A couple of tips. We definitely want to make sure your cover letter matches your resume, and that means using the same font, using the same header. It should look like it's from the same person. They should look like a collection of materials. Business letter format is what we expect, and so make sure when you're looking at examples, you're including the date. Make sure you update the date.
Hey.
Common mistake. You also want to make sure that you use formal introductions. And so you shouldn't say,
"Hi, Kate. How's it going?"
Not okay.
All right.
You'd like to say, "Dear hiring manager," or something related. And also saying sincerely at the end, not
cheers.
Cheers. No cheers. In our last segment, we answer some FAQs from students about cover letters. Question number 1, do I need to sign my cover letter with a pen? So should I have my actual written signature, not typed?
Like a colonial lady. Dear sir.
Do I have to use calligraphy?
No, you don't need a written signature. You can if you want. It's just decorative, though. Like, I don't think it would raise a red flag to a recruiter if you didn't have it. So it's really up to you. Of course, like, please put your name because that's important.
Number 2, does my cover letter have to be 1 page?
Yes, please. For the recruiter's sake, I don't think they want to read all that.
Who should I address my cover letter to?
So if you know the hiring manager, put their name. If you don't know exactly who it is, you can put Dear Hiring Manager or Hiring Committee.
Sometimes I would say internship coordinator if it's for an internship.
I actually encourage everyone to address it to the CEO, just like to assert their dominance.
No.
Cool. All right. Next question.
How many paragraphs should my cover letter be?
I think the rule of thumb is 4.
Ish.
4-ish.
4-ish. So let's talk through what they are. So you need an intro paragraph.
Okay.
And at the end of your intro paragraph, you have kind of a thesis statement that says, here's why I'm a great fit for your organization. And then you can have a couple of body paragraphs, 1 or 2, and then you need a short closing.
Okay.
Something that says, basically, I hope you'll interview me.
Okay.
And you can look at more examples on the Career Center website. What are some things I should definitely avoid putting in my cover letter?
Don't put a heart at the end of it. Like love.
No emojis?
Don't ramble. Always bring it back to the recruiter. At least at the end of one body paragraph, you should bring it back and talk about how this is relevant to what you're applying for.
Because it shows that you've done your research. Exclamation points or emotion words like love. I would love to work for Disney. That's not a reason to hire someone.
So what do you say instead?
I would either not use a word like love.
Okay.
I would talk about facts and examples instead. So you could say, I love it, and therefore I made fan fiction about Daisy Duck or whatever.
Fan fiction about Daisy Duck. Yeah.
I would say if you remember nothing else about this conversation, make sure you change the company or organization's name. That happens a lot.
Come to the Career Center and we can read it.
Yes. Well, thanks, Jessie.
Yay! Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, if you have more questions, please come see us at the Career Center.
Yeah, you could have your very own Kate.
Ta-da!
Showbiz. Baby. Work in Progress is a podcast by the UVA Career Center, Teej FM, and WTJU. I'm your host, Jessie, and my co-host is Kate. Work in Progress is produced by Mary Garner McGee. Our music is from Blue Dot Sessions. Follow the UVA Career Center on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and check out our website at career.virginia.edu.